Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are in this wonderful country. Thank you for attending this webinar. My name is Nick Lowitt. I am the Vice President of Sales and Development here at Peak Pro Financial. Super excited to run through this webinar with everyone. I think it is actually something that you're going to run into a lot, and I'm running into it with current advisors I work with. This is really a webinar about solving the inherited IRA dilemma. And what I mean by that is the amount of qualified money that is going to be inherited over the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years is an astonishing amount. Now, Uncle Sam has done a really good job of positioning certain components. They're going to make sure he gets his tax dollars, such as the Secure Act, which we'll cover a little bit today. But when you think about this, no matter how good at planning we are, no matter how many clients we get to talk to, and where we even specialize as far as ways to do strategic tax planning currently for older clients between 60, 70, even older ages, we're never going to get to everybody. So one of the things you have to be aware of and why it's important to look at tax mitigation strategies is that you're going to have current clients and new clients coming into your practice who are receiving lots of inherited IRA and qualified assets. So what does this really mean? I mean, this is a wonderful quote that I think fits very well. When you're talking about the Secure Act and you're talking about the concern that our current clients have about their kids inheriting all this money, and we're going to go through the details of what that actually looks like for the next generation, but never let a good crisis go to waste. What do I mean? The conversations are sitting right in front of you. Whether you're talking to the baby boomer generation or you're talking to the kids that have inherited the IRAs, the conversation is still about how to better use tax code so that you can mitigate what is actually coming. So let's get into some of the numbers. There's $84 trillion that are going to be transferred from the silent generation and boomers to Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z through 2045. So if you've been wondering, how am I going to stay relevant? How am I going to keep my practice thriving? Well, think logically. Go where the money is. If we can't get to everyone ahead of this transfer of wealth, these inherited IRA dollars, we better be ready for the next generation to come in and really start asking us what to do with it. So just statistically, where does all that wealth land? Well, Gen Z, boomers, millennials, Gen X, you can see the percentages. And if you're looking to keep your practice alive and well and really start to evolve appropriately, well, these are the types of cases that you're going to run into. So the thing I always look at too, have your clients accounted for this primary beneficiary, and what does it really mean for them? Well, they love their kids. Maybe they love their grandkids more. And if they're going to leave them $1 million, $2 million, well, the rules have changed. The rules now, where we used to have a stretch IRA, and we've all heard of the Secure Act, we're fairly familiar with it, so I'm not going to kind of beat that horse, but we go from having the stretch IRA to being forced to take distributions, whether it's IRAs, 401ks, even Roth conversions. You have to take distributions before 10 years and over 10 years, or there's a penalty. So what we're going to get into is, what does a do-nothing approach look like, and what does it mean to do some good planning? Well, the do-nothing scenario, Karen, she's 50 years old. She resides in Wisconsin. She makes $150,000 a year of earned income. She inherits $1 million. So Karen's current circumstance, she's going to net $98,125. We've accounted for federal, state, even Medicare. So $150,000 turns into $98,125. When we add the additional $100,000 a year distribution, it's $1 million inherited, $100,000 a year for 10 years, her earned income goes up to $250,000. And as you can see here, her tax brackets go up. Now, when her tax brackets go up, this may sound great to Karen at the beginning of it. Oh my goodness, I'm going to get an extra $100,000 a year. I'll just do what I have to do. Well, in reality, she's only going to increase what she keeps in her pocket by $37,950. This is mildly depressing. And unless we have better solutions for our clients, no one wants to handle that tax burden. And if your solution is, oh, well, we'll just pay the taxes, throw it into the market, and cross our fingers we do well. You got to know what all of your options are. So when we get into it, do you think clients have a concern over rising taxes? Well, historically speaking, we're in currently low tax percentages. We know taxes are going to go up, and clients have that same opinion. So if taxes go up, go back to my last equation, they're just going to net less. Now, again, I go to the idea, Uncle Sam is no dummy. He's a multi-generational tax planning machine. So what he said was, okay, we're going to put in the Secure Act. We're going to see this largest transfer of wealth our country's ever witnessed. And then we're not going to go after the baby boomers. We're going to go after the next generation. And not only that, we're going to place a Secure Act during 2020, the beginning of the year when COVID happened. No one's going to pay as much attention to it. No one's going to think about doing the math. So what happens when that all comes to fruition and taxes go up? Well, he just nets more. He's going to keep more via rising taxes. So what does solutions look like? Most annuity carriers, they're not accepting inherited IRAs. They're just not. They don't want to put the client in a penalized position. And my biggest thing too is that what is an annuity going to do for you? It's just going to delay the inevitable, maybe make it a bigger tax burden. And if you were to do something like that, maybe even you put it into a 5 or 7 year FIA, well, if that annuity grows, you're just going to have a larger tax bill. And in 7 years, what if taxes go up in 7 years? Well, you just delay the inevitable and now you got to pay more in taxes anyways. So majority of advisors aren't equipped with these tax mitigation strategies. They haven't thought about this. They haven't run through it. And here at Peak Pro Financial, what we do is we specialize in these types of plans. We know the ins and outs of solutions, and we can really cater to whatever case you have. And not to mention, if they were to ask a CPA, they are not tax code specialists. They're tax code historians. They look backwards. They don't look forwards. They probably just tell the clients, oh yeah, just pay your taxes. They're due. What a horrible answer to a client after the given situation I put in front of you. So where do we go? Bottom line, advisors with tax mitigation strategies will dominate the market space. This is crucial. This is what everyone on this call needs to start to think about as far as how to evolve your practice and become the tax code expert. This is where we've helped advisors across this country doing lots of business in these types of plans. And we do specialize, again, in tax-free wealth planning or tax mitigation strategies across the board. So what do I keep mentioning? It's tax code. Well, there's a wonderful quote by Judge Learned Hand. I love saying it. I love having it at my fingertips because I think it answers a lot of questions. Over and over again, courts have said that there is nothing sinister in so arranging one's affairs as to keep taxes as low as possible. Everybody does so, rich or poor, and all do right. For nobody owes any public duty to pay more than the law demands. Taxes are enforced extractions, not voluntary contributions. So what's he saying? This still comes up in tax court today. It's up to you, the American people, to use the tax code you were given. No one's going to do it for you unless they work with a tax code specialist who actually knows how to leverage tax code appropriately. So for us, tax code, we've been given solutions, but we're not all overly familiar with them. I want to walk you through a solution we like to use on our side. Now, this is a case example, and I'm going to bring Karen back into the window. Karen's 50. She's standard non-tobacco. This is a life insurance chassis. We're taking $1 million of inherited IRAs, and we're going to actually take those distributions over 5 years versus 10, and we're going to allow the same asset to pay the taxes that are due as we fund our tax-free wealth strategy. So what's it look like? Well, if she didn't need the money, we're just going to leverage putting in $200,000 a year for 5 years. We're going to take out $70,000, assuming a 35% tax bracket, and we're going to stagger that after the first year. So we're taking out 70, we're maintaining the interest earning power on the tax dollar. And if we just looked at the values inside of this plan, remember, she's not 59 and a half yet. This is tax-free wealth in this cash value column she can dip into for whatever needs come her way. If she didn't ever need the money, you can also see that the legacy component of it always stays over $1 million. And if we get out to those later ages, well, if we get the life expectancy age 87, it's now worth $4.2 million on a tax-free basis. Not to mention she has $3.9 million in tax-free wealth. Point is, this is a phenomenal solution. And if I just looked at the overview, the summary, this is our proprietary software, $1 million goes in and the total benefits of 8 million at a 35% tax bracket, 8 million, I'd have to make 12.3 million. That's assuming taxes don't go up. Pretty incredible strategy. But what about income? Well, actually, let's talk cost first. Excuse me. When we talk cost, the cost of the plan, average cost per year over the next 20 years is only 66 basis points based on the premium she put in. Now, if we base it off the growth in the account, that actually drops down, and we're just assuming a 5.18% growth rate. If she does better, well, the actual account value cost goes down, but 66 basis points. Let's talk about that. You're putting a plan together in which the client is building an asset. It's a tax-free asset. It's the same asset she's going to leverage to be able to pay the taxes, keep the interest earning power on tax dollars, get uncapped return potential, no market risk, and provide tax-free distributions when and where she needs it. Oh, and by the way, if she never uses it, it goes on to the heirs tax-free. That's like highway robbery for this cost comparison. When we do this type of model, let's talk about income next. If we wanted to talk income, well, same design. If we just started income going all the way out till age 100, we started at age 60. She put in 200,000 a year, took out 70,000. If we did a net income to net monies invested, we'd be looking at a 9.49% tax-free income stream for life. I don't know many other strategies that are going to provide over a 9% tax-free income stream starting in retirement. Not to mention, what a better way to reposition the inherited IRA dollars. Now, the solution here is one that we, again, are well-versed in. We want to train you. We want to get you lethal so you really can have these conversations with clients and you're ready for this boom of business, which is coming your way. Now, if I looked out all the way to age 100, you can see my income sustains. I even have some extra cash left over, and there's still a fair amount of legacy in this plan as well. These strategies are tax-free wealth accumulation vehicles. And I go to my overview and my summary one more time. If we were to compare this income-wise with a 30% tax bracket, we generated $2.5 million of income. That's the equivalent of $3.8 million taxable. Remember, all based off of $1 million of premium or starting value. And we even had some extra leftover legacy at age 100 of $458,000. So our total benefits between cash flow and legacy is 2.9, almost $3 million. The equivalent of close to $4.6 million in the taxable asset. I'd love to see someone show me how, if I have to pay taxes on the same inherited IRA, how I'm going to get close to a $4.5 million benefit after I pay taxes, after I lose the interest earning power of that tax dollar. Never going to happen. Now, what about cost? Cost is still at 66 basis points. We do a thorough analysis of all the different products in this type of strategy, and we know which ones have the lowest cost, which ones have the best index strategies tied to them, and which ones are really well fit for loans as well. There's a lot of analysis we do here at Peak Pro Financial, and it's really important to understand that properly structured life insurance has a place. I always think it's interesting too, because it's not like the United States government was going to say, hey, look, let's just build the Secure Act, and there's no out. The reality is the out has been in front of you for a long time. The solution, it's index universal life, but it has to be properly structured. It has to meet the criteria. And that's what our specialty is. So what do we do here at Peak Pro Financial? We do product analysis. We offer guidance, case-by-case product design, professional underwriting support. We have a back office dedicated to supporting these types of cases and making sure that they go through smoothly. We add to your back office. So every group we work with is a little different, but it's an incredible opportunity to really build up this part of the business. We offer content, coaching, and we take what seems complex and make it really easy to understand. Not just for you, but so you can take this type of strategy and make it easy for your clients to understand. No one's going out there selling their clients right now saying, hey, let's talk about cash value life insurance. No, you got to talk about an alternative asset class. Talk about the features of that asset. Then we can talk about the tax code, 7702A, what it allows us to do. That's how we've always trained. And again, we do cater to about the top 10% of financial advisors in the country. We also offer strategies for business owners, affluent households, from estate planning to business owners and cash flow planning, cap gains bypass, other strategies that are reserved for the before inherited IRAs. So let's say you have a client who's worth $5 million. They have a lot of qualified money that they're never going to need. We have strategies we've developed where you can actually take that money, get it out of the estate with little to no taxation, creating a 7 to 12x guarantee. There's so many solutions wrapped up inside of the insurance world. You just have to be willing and looking for a partner who understands them. So with that being said, we've been around since 2003, highly educated and lethal around tax mitigation strategies, and would love to be able to have a discussion with you about your practice, see if there's some fits. And look, if you're running into inherited IRA dollars today, call. We can show you how to build this thing the right way, and we can give you all the ammunition to do what I just went through. So I'm going to leave it on this slide for everybody. Really appreciate the time you've given us today. Tried to make this short and sweet and to the point. But if you give us a shout, myself, Nick Lowitt, my team, we're ready to be able to have these discussions and bring some more education to the table for you so you can start to do this type of strategic wealth planning. Thank you so much for attending. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and looking forward to talking to you soon.